This very special 20th anniversary Macintosh is, as far as I know, 1 out of 1 in the entire world. Because unlike any other TAM, it has been CPU swapped at the board level to a G3 processor. And today, we're saying goodbye because I need to make room for a ridiculous computer that I just got. So stay tuned. And if you also get extremely sentimental about computers, I hope you'll consider subscribing to the channel. I've had this 20th anniversary Macintosh for a few years now. I originally bought it from a very nice gentleman in rural Pennsylvania, who was the original owner of this thing and actually ran his business from it. It was a bit tattered when I first got it. The speaker covers were a bit worse for wear with some stains and rips. The screen had obvious blemishes. And the keyboard was, to quote a term from my youth, grody. But together, we poured a ton of love into this rare grail machine, and I reclothed the speakers in this black fabric, just like the very first TAM prototypes had. Oh, and of course we upgraded the absolute crap out of the internals in perhaps the wildest event that's ever taken place at a VCF. My friend and yours, Colin Mister, replaced the 603EV CPU on the motherboard with an actual G3 processor. Live at the show with a crowd, basically as performance art. That's the kind of thing that happens at VCF East. But you know, a funny thing happens when you upgrade the absolute crap out of a computer. It can wind up just sitting on a shelf, looking pretty hideous, but not being used. So today, I'm trading it away to my friend Jonathan for a new project computer that's, well, not quite as rare as this 1 of 1 TAM, but nearly. Right after this quick word about today's sponsor, Wondershare Recover It. Now, as you may have noticed, I do a bit of the old YouTubing, which means I basically live and die by this thing, an SD card. Wait, isn't this supposed to be in the camera? How am I recording this right now? And I live in absolute terror of plugging this thing into my MacBook Pro one day and finding its data corrupted. But that's where Wondershare Recover It comes in. Wondershare Recover It is an all-in-one data recovery tool supporting 2,000 plus devices and 1,000 plus file formats, including SD card recovery, crap, where did that go? Hard drive recovery, flash drives, and much more. Let me show you how it works. All right, I've got Wondershare Recover It open, got my SD card. Let's plug that in. Let's just give this a quick scan. You know, look at that. Already we can see old files that I have deleted off of here that we could recover. There's also options like corrupted video repair and enhanced recovery. It takes a little bit longer to scan, but well, it's going to find a lot more stuff. And the new V13 has a ton of upgrades that are quite significant for filmmakers, photographers, and things such as improved SD card and external drive compatibility. Wondershare even states there's a 99.5% recovery success rate on external devices. So save your time, save your files, and get your data back. You can download Recover It for free today and give it a try using the link down in my description below. Now, if you've never seen the 20th anniversary Macintosh, let's take a quick gander because it's, well, it's kind of a lot. Basically, it's the guts of a PowerBook 3400C shoved inside of an early Johnny Ive fever dream. The speaker grills on the side are mostly for show. The speakers are just down at the bottom here. This subwoofer is also the power supply, and this keyboard and trackpad is literally right out of the PowerBook 3400C. There is an optical drive under this flap here. This is a floppy drive, and the whole shebang does tilt. In the back here, as you may have speculated, I have done a few upgrades. 128 megs of RAM. There is a SATA controller card. I 3D printed a bracket here so I could mount a fan over top of the CPU. And I also put a fan over here just to blow over that pretty dense memory. And all in all, this is about as frickin' powerful as you can possibly make a 20th anniversary Macintosh. Oh, and quick note, if you have a friend with a 20th anniversary Macintosh and you'd like to prank them, on the bottom of the subwoofer here is a volume knob, and it goes extremely loud. Oh my god, that's way too loud. I'm going to put this at halfway here, and you'll see just how freaking loud this thing is. All right, booting into Mac OS, and I believe I have this thing dual booting. I do. All right, BOS is alive and well, and if we look at About BOS, oh yeah, look at that, PowerPC 750 running at 300 megahertz. And check it out, Sheepshaver is here. We can actually boot up Mac OS inside of Sheepshaver, inside of BOS, inside of a 20th anniversary Macintosh. How freaking silly is that? All right, let's boot into the Mac OS side this time. In Mac OS 8.5. Oh yeah, look at that, PowerPC G3. All right, let's check if this optical drive is still working with the second best game ever released after Wolfenstein 3D, Star Trek Voyager Elite Force. Like most of these TAMs, the CD-ROM door is a little weird, but does latch in place. And the CD-ROM drive should work because I replaced it. And it does. Excellent. Let's also test the weird hidden floppy drive with this very important disk with a backup of the TAM firmware patch that is required to run the G3. Oh yeah, there it is. All right, I do believe we have a fully functional, crazy upgraded 20th anniversary Macintosh. And here is the upgrade we're going to stick in there for Jonathan. This is a brand new ComSlot 2 Ethernet card made by the genius that is Tech by Androda. This thing is built with a new old stock RTL 8139. And yeah, pretty cool that these are being built because this card is pretty hard to come by in a working state. Watch this thing explode. All right, just a quick install of these drivers here. Nice. And of course we have to stick Squirrel Simulator on here. What is Squirrel Simulator? Well, it's my crowning achievement. That'll go right on the desktop here. Speaking of the desktop, this blue is pretty boring. Oh yeah, cameras with floppy disks are so convenient. Whatever happened to these? Perfect. All right, we'll just drag these on over. Perfection. All right, John, welcome to the basement lair.
I'm glad to be here. It's amazing.
This is quite a weird 20th anniversary Macintosh. Want to give this first power on?
Sure.
You know how to turn it on?
Actually, I know. No, I've never seen the power button on one of these.
Soft power on the keyboard, and there's also a power button on the back, but it should power on. Try it again. There we go.
That sound is amazing.
And that's about half volume on this thing.
Wow, that's
it's
crazy.
Ridiculously loud. It's not worked in quite a while.
That's the best. So inside of BOS, you're running the Sheepshaver to run Mac OS 7, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah. On, and it's not an emulation. It's
right. It's
on the hardware. So it's like tunneling through
BOS. That's really crazy.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about the surprise computer that you've traded for this TAM.
Well, at VCF Midwest, there was this guy, and he had an amazing amount of Apple II stuff. I asked him about it, and he said he was liquidating his 30-year collection, and he came there in I think 2 U-Hauls with his wife. It was an amazing time, and he had like 3 Lisas, and he had Lisa boards. He had so much stuff. And it was Friday, it was the first day, everybody was setting up, and this Lisa just rolled in. And I'm like, oh my God, are you selling that? And he said, yes. And I've been looking for a Lisa for a long, long time. Guess what? He sold it to me. However, you said to me, I'm looking for a Lisa for my videos. And of course, I love your videos.
Thanks.
Right? They're amazing. So what did I do? I said, well, you've been looking to get rid of this, this TAM. You offered it. I said, you know what? Let's do the trade.
Yeah, so it turns out an Apple Lisa is worth exactly 1 weird TAM. Yeah, this thing has just been sitting on a shelf ever since we've upgraded it. Now it's going to go to a loving new home.
Yes, it is.
All right, well, I suppose it's time to pack this up and get it ready for its new home. And here it is. Holy crap, I can hardly believe that I have an Apple Lisa. I've been obsessed with these computers for years, and I really never thought I would actually own one. So I have to thank John again for that very generous trade, and I also have to thank Mark from Mac Effects for making sure this got here in one piece, and also for including some really interesting Lisa goodies that you'll see on the channel very soon. Now, as a computer with deep historic significance, I'm of course going to treat this thing with the respect it deserves, and I'm absolutely going to try and upgrade the ever-loving crap out of it. In fact, I already have one of the first upgrades for it right here. Though first we need to actually get this thing working because, well, if you're a patron or a channel member, you'll know that this needs a little bit of work. In any event, that'll do it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, I'd appreciate a thumbs up, and if you'd like to see some Lisa shenanigans, please subscribe down below, and thank you very much for watching. And a special thanks to Alex Hoffman, Alex the Rat, Andrew Nicholson, April White, Chris Biggs, Chris Calderon, Chris Nelson, Control-Alt-Reese, Darren Johnstone, Dave's Garage, Drew Hamlin, Eduardo Fonseca, 3 Hours 9, Frodo Jedi, Gaspar Heller, George Rojansky, Graham, Greg from Rutk Mods, Harris Brody, JS, James Fryman, James Laurie, Jason Pepas, Camille Rakowski, Lyle Truid, Matthew Crowell, Nick Daniels, Oh It's Just Jose, Paul Spencer, Ryan, Scott Cedarbaum, Scott Thompson, Steve Sullivan, Tom Woodfin, Unknown Soldier 41, Veronica Explains, and Xantronics Industrial, who are my highest tiered patrons and all of my Patreon supporters for helping to make these videos possible.